Take a look into the human body, system by system, top to the bottom. The ones we all know and the ones that we don't. The ones that seem useless and the goat. Here's a big thing that you got to know. We're gonna talk about the penis and a vulva. So if you're a kid and your parents think you're not quite ready, feel free to keep watching. I don't care, it's not really my problem. The definition of an organ is fairly loose, but in general it's made of several types of tissues that are formed together into a complex structure and perform one or more functions for you. Many organs can be in more than one system, so don't think that I missed them. I'm only gonna list them each one time. Don't let me get you crying. Let's get on with it. The Integumentary System's main role is protecting you from the outside world, keeps you not too cold and not too warm. Skin is here blatantly, yeah, but debatably. Sweat glands, hair follicles, and sebaceous glands could all be called itty-bitty organs. Anyway, moving on to the next system. Musculoskeletal. Locomotion and protection of the vital organs, yo. Giving structure to the body so that we don't crumble, And here's something pretty wild. Oh yeah? That I never had expected. What is it? From the definition previously mentioned, muscles and bones are all technically organs. What? Don't get nervous now. The brain is in control, other organs bow down. Control thought, motor control, a lot of other processes. You know the brain, we're moving on. The spinal cord goes down your spine and it's connected to your brainstem. It transmits messages via nerve signals all day from the brain to the body and the body to the brain. The eyes see, the ears hear, the senses. You know this now. The endocrine system communicates and regulates the body using hormones. The hypothalamus within the brain is in control. Parathyroid, pituitary, and pineal, thyroid, and finally adrenal. These are all glands that regulate your body via secretion of hormones, primarily. Fat, also known as adipose tissue, cushions you but makes hormones too. Respiratory system is up next to shove oxygen down your neck. Nasal cavities in the nose. Heat will cool the air that you breathe and they filter it with mucus. And then it'll flow into the pharynx. It's connected to the esophagus and also to the larynx, which is also known as the voice box, containing the vocal cords as well as the epiglottis, which is a flap that opens up for air so you can breathe. Then it closes down for food and liquid. Trachea, you may know it as the windpipe, brings air from the larynx to the bronchi, which are a system of branching tubes in the lungs that exchange CO2 for O2 with the blood. Ooh, the blood flows into your heart, king of the cardiovascular, pumps blood through your body, baby. Anyway, there's another fluid that I bet you didn't know you had. It is called lymph, and the lymphatic system is highly integrated with that of the immune, so we're grouping them all together, taking a look at how the lymph moves. It's a watery juice, it's multi-use, it's full of pathogens and other drug resistant filters for you. It travels through lymphatic vessels and through the lymph nodes, which murder pathogens, time for the tonsils. I bet you thought that they were useless, I bet you thought that there were only two of them, cause that's what I thought too, but it turns out there are many in your head, and they're all about immune response initiations to pathogens passing by the locations. And the spleen's a red blood cell recycling machine and a reservoir of backup blood stored for emergencies. Thymus is a maturation bed for killer T cells. Bone marrow from the big bones makes blood cells. The justitium has debated organ status but has an interconnected structure of tiny liquid sacs full of interstitial fluid that drain into your lymphatic sewers. It's also throughout your body in the spaces between the cells and acts as a shock absorber too. Let's talk about the tiny little elephant in the room. The appendix! Is it useless? We're not definitive! Hypothesized useless! Maybe it can destroy some pathogens. Maybe good bacteria live in it. But in the case of appendicitis, it can rupture. Unfortunate. The digestive system gets food into you. Then it digests it. Then it expels the remains from your body. These are not bones, they're debatably organs or maybe just structures. Who knows? The tongue manipulates your food while you chew. It's covered in taste buds for tasting the food. Salivary glands produce enterploid saliva. Major pairs there are three and many more are minor. The esophagus' purpose is to bring ingested liquids and solids down to the stomach, which is a mechanical grinder, a place to store food to be slowly released into the intestines, starting with a small one. It's a coiled organ that breaks down the fats, carbs, and proteins. Then the rest passes to the large intestine, whose purpose is electrolyte absorption, water too, unless you have diarrhea. In the end, the rest is packed into poop and stored there as well as in the rectum, which alerts you when it's full, so you'll take a dump. Backtracking a bit, the liver has a ton of functions. Blood detox and make it bile are among them. Hey, speaking of bile, another word for that is gall. The bladder of gall. The gallbladder stores it all. It drips it into the small intestine, where it is used for fat digestion. The pancreas produces insulin and other blood sugar regulating hormones. It also sends pancreatic juice to the small intestine. Now for a couple of rookies in this organ game. Mesentery is a very newly minted organ. A folded tissue giving blood and structural support to the intestines. Greater or mental and similar, it holds fat and immune cells. Now up to the urinary system. Kidneys detoxify blood and make pee. Ureters carry the pee from kidneys to bladder with strong on the pee. Then you pee the how you make the baby. Two reproductive systems, how they got the one with touches. Also known as testicles, they produce testosterone and also make sperm, and they send it along to the epididymis. From a living this, learning how to swim, ejaculation sends them to the vas deferens. Seminal vesicles release a part of fluid that meets sperm at the ejaculatory duct. They go into the prostate, yeah, where they meet up with the urethra. The fluid's added by the prostate, yeah, then it meets with Cowper's gland. Cowper completes the semen with the final fluid. Urethra goes to the penis via semen, exits through it, the penis stiffens with blood. When you're feeling in the mood, now we're right around 2. Beginning on the breasts. If you make a baby, they make milk for the baby. Down to the ovaries, storage facilities for ova, eggs, also estrogen factories, and generally, when ovum is released approximately monthly in the menstrual cycle. And each cycle a new organ is formed that is temporary, called the corpus luteum. It produces hormones expelled if there's a pregnancy. Otherwise, it hangs around for several months before it leaves fallopian tubes, move the eggs to the uterus. And if there's to be a pregnancy, they're where the sperm and egg will meet. Then the uterus is where the fetus will be. During birth, it contracts to expel that baby. Placenta is another one of the temporary organs. It's the intermediary of the prego and the preggy. The umbilical cord connects the fetus to placenta, and the cervix is lower, separates uterus from vagina. When it's time to be born, the cervix opens for the baby. We transition from effective vagina gets longer when you arouse. The vulva's not the vagina, the vulva's the external bits. There's not a single organ that contains labia, which is skin that protects the urethral and vaginal openings. The porcelains is Keen's glands and cervical lubrication. And finally the clitoris, most of it's internal, you can only see the tip. Pleasure's its primary purpose, your parents would love to talk about it in the penis.